Here we are in section 3 of the Maze Runner. This particular video is going to talk about the thought process behind responding to each of the prompts in section 3. So, first piece on the agenda here talks about the key pieces of the exposition within the Maze Runner. The first task is to look up the definition of exposition from Freytag's pyramid. After you look up the definition from chapter 1, you need to state the key pieces of the exposition from the Maze Runner. The exposition has certain parts that are found, and the response should have those pieces stated. Now, when you're creating a topic sentence, you want to make sure that you have the words exposition and the Maze Runner contained within your topic sentence. Now, the inciting incident or initiating event is also a part of Freytag's pyramid. Within the Maze Runner, you need to first look up the definition of inciting incident, and then following that, think about what the inciting incident is within the book. Also, within the question itself, you need to ask, what are the gladers trying to do and what is their problem? These two questions will help you respond to the inciting incident within the novel. Now, in chapter 22, the character Albie goes through a process that the book calls the changing. Now, with this particular response, the first step is to look up what rising action means and where that falls into place within Freytag's pyramid. After that, consider the definition of the inciting incident and rising action. They are two different things. Because of that, you need to know that the rising action builds on the inciting incident. So how does the rising action within the story build on the inciting incident? Now, how does what happened to Albie build on the inciting incident? So Albie goes through the changing. How does this help elevate the plot line of our story? Finally, within your topic sentence, you want to use a sentence that has the words changing and rising action. I would definitely also include the character's name of Albie in the topic sentence as well. Moving on to chapters 25 through 27. Again, with text-based analysis, we're looking at the text, completing PSSA style questions to enable us to be successful. So, first quote or first prompt here talks about Thomas's personality. So, the first thing that you need to do is think about words that describe an individual's personality. You might want to use your resources on the internet to help you with this particular task. After you have described some personality traits, reread the quote and think about Thomas's character or personality. How would you describe his personality at this point in the text? So 166 out of 300 something pages. How would you describe Thomas's personality within these chapters? Finally, with your topic sentence, make sure you have your descriptive word that describes Thomas's personality, as well as the words themes and personality mentioned within your topic sentence. Moving on down to the next prompt. How does this statement make Thomas appear to the reader now? Again, we're looking back at that quote from page 166. Your first task is to think about this question. The word now is seen in comparison to the word before. So now as in page 166. In order to answer the prompt, discuss how Thomas appears to be now and how he was at the beginning of chapter 1. That's where you're making your comparison. In number 3, you want to answer the question, how has Thomas changed? How is Thomas different at this point in the story compared to the beginning? Your topic sentence should have these following items contained. These are Thomas's personality now and your descriptive word regarding his personality. Third and final piece talks about Thomas's sarcasm. We see this element of Thomas come out as he becomes more comfortable within the glade. The first thing you need to do is know the definition of sarcasm. Look back at the quote from page 166. What part of the quote was sarcastic? You need to think about Thomas's personality at this point. How does that part of the quote fit Thomas's personality now? What is Thomas actually saying when he talks about the doors of the maze closing? Finally, the topic sentence needs to address the words quote and sarcasm within the sentence so the reader knows what you are talking about. In chapters 28 through 30, we're talking about the theme of friendship. The prompt has you comparing two characters' relationships from the beginning of the novel until this point. The first thing you need to know is what the definition of theme means. After that, you should look at the prompt and underline key pieces so you can specify what the prompt is asking you to do. In pages 191 to 195, you need to pick two characters and a conversation that those characters have. From that point, compare the relationship. You need to think about how friendship is being addressed or shown in the conversation. From that point, how has the friendship grown since the beginning of the book? Consider words to describe the friendship at the beginning versus words that are used now within the text. Your topic sentence should consider the words friendship, the characters' names, and something mentioning about how the friendship has grown from something to something else. So you are filling in the blanks within your topic sentence. So, there you have it. The reading response for section 3 and a little bit more thought process as to how to respond to the questions.